She also said it was very suspicious that I didn't post anything for a year on social media. Hi and welcome to Welcome Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences with Hollywood, with celebrities, and working as an entertainment reporter. So yesterday I spoke a little bit about Blake Lively's new movie, A Simple Favor, which is premiering on South by Southwest in March. I also showed you a little glimpse of my interview with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick from 2018, where the two of them seemed to have, it was not like a banter, but it felt like something was a little bit off between them, and Anna Kendrick was telling off Blake Lively a little bit or correcting her in my interview. And today I saw that Daily Mail did a story on them because apparently they didn't get along at all during that shoot. They talked to another insider, a source. I don't know, as I said before, how much I trust these sources, but I thought it was interesting enough to mention that the source said that they hated each other. The studio even had to have a talk with them about making it look like they liked each other on press tours because it was starting to get obvious, the insider alleged. The source claimed that Anna in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake, and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's. Here's the poster. I don't see any cleavages at all, but that's beyond the point here. If this is true, I wonder what it was like to shoot the second movie. So Henry Golding, an amazing, sweet actor that was in the first movie. I interviewed him like 3 times, I think, and he's one of those few people who actually remembers me, which is amazing. But he was on What Happens Live recently, and he was asked about this feud, and he said that, you know, everything was fine and whatever. But I think a person like him, he's just so nice. He would never say anything bad about anyone. So I don't know. I feel like when there's rumors like this, there's always something to it. As I said yesterday, the director of the movie, Paul Feig, came out and defended Blake Lively again and said she's one of the nicest people to work with and blah, blah, blah. I also showed a post he did on his Instagram where he was promoting the movie, and Blake Lively was tagged, or she was a collaborator of the post, and the post was flooded with trolls or haters or whatever you want to call it. It was a lot of criticism of people who wanted to boycott the movie and made fun of Blake. The comment section just went on and on and on. But then Paul Feig went out and did another post, exactly the same poster of the movie, and he tagged 12 people in the picture, in the poster of the movie, and none of them were Blake Lively. So even though he is supporting her publicly in that sense, he doesn't want her reputation to ruin his movie. So that's pretty obvious, and I understand why. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to be associated with Blake Lively now. Yesterday, TMZ had an interview with Justin Baldoni's lawyer, and it was pretty revealing. But first, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, Dream. We all know how important sleep is, and I had issues with sleep my entire life. I try to get as natural sleep as possible, and I know that you can get kind of groggy when you take sleeping pills or even over-the-counter pills. So for me, this natural version is so amazing. When I feel stress building up in my body, and especially when I know I have something very important to do the next day, I kind of feel that this night is going to be challenging for me, and that's when it's really a comfort to know that I have the option to use Dream. You just mix 1 scoop of the cinnamon cocoa flavored Dream, and then you mix it with hot water or milk 1 hour before you go to bed. I love that it's packed with all natural ingredients, like magnesium and L-theanine, that's known for reducing stress and anxiety, as well as reishi mushrooms, which helps to enhance your immune system, reduce stress, improve sleep, and lessen fatigue. No GMO, no gluten, it's vegan, and there is no added sugar. Only 15 calories. The quality of the sleep is different, and that's what makes a difference to me. Dream is third-party tested and clinically proven to improve sleep. So if you want to prioritize your sleep for a healthy and productive year, you can get 35% off Dream by Beam by using the code Kjersti at checkout. That's KJERSTI, my name, at checkout. Yeah, so back to TMZ and the interview they did with Brian Friedman. So Harvey Levine, he started a new podcast called Two Angry Men, and his first guest was Brian Friedman. And they had a very interesting conversation yesterday. And one thing I took from it, which I thought was like, that makes so much sense to me, is that they all think that it's very likely that Blake Lively's team will settle because Brian Friedman wants to take Taylor Swift's deposition. And I don't think anyone wants to put her in that position. They don't want to put their super famous friend in that position. And I'm sure that Taylor Swift is putting pressure on Blake and saying, you know, I don't want this guy to ask me all these questions. It could be really damaging for her career as well. If she was that involved, which it looks like on all the video and the interviews that we've seen so far, that she was a lot more involved in the production of It Ends With Us than she's actually admitting to. Someone sent me an email this morning, and it's something that I have seen before, but I forgot to mention, which is quite interesting. So in 2012, Blake Lively was booted from a movie. She was supposed to have the lead in Steven Soderbergh's movie Side Effects, but one of the producers walked away from the project and refused to finance the film as Blake Lively was the lead. So they ended up kicking out Blake Lively to hire Rooney Mara for the project. I don't know if it got that much attention back then, but it just but again, it just shows the kind of reputation that Blake Lively has had in the industry for so long that people refuse to finance a movie if she's in it. Also, I just wanted to mention this one woman because I don't believe in trashing other creators. It's just a waste of time to me. But this one woman is spreading so much misinformation about me that I just had to call her out. I'm going to be brief about it, and I don't want to give her too much attention, but I started seeing people in my comment section commenting on the lies that she's spreading about me. So this woman here, Julia, is creating all these TikTok videos about me, and she has like over 1 million followers on TikTok, you know, so people listen to her. So one of her latest video is like 10 minutes long, and it's only about me, and she starts off by saying that I'm not the person to spread conspiracy theories or misinformation. And then I listened to her whole episode, and I could find probably about 10 facts that were completely wrong. So yes, she is spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories. So one of her theories, which I really wanted to call out because I think it's just so dumb, she said that I had come out several times and talked about the reason why I posted the Blake Lively viral video when I did. And she said that I changed my story. She said one time she said that a friend called her and reminded her that she had that video. And another time I said a reporter called me. Okay, so to clear things up, when you get interviewed by, I don't know how many people contacted me for comment on that, you want to change things up a little bit to make it sound a little more interesting. I'm not giving the same quote to everyone. I never referred to the person who called me a friend. I said a colleague. So this guy worked for NRK, which is the public equivalent of like BBC in Norway. They were doing a story on censorship in Hollywood. And here is the article that he wrote. He also interviewed me for a TV segment that they showed on the news. And we did talk about Blake Lively. But that aside, so she's claiming that this guy who works for NRK in Norway was contacted by Justin Baldoni's PR crisis team to remind me that I had that video. And I was like, how on earth would Justin Baldoni's PR team know that I had a terrible interview from 2016? How would they know that? And how would they know about this guy that works for NRK in Norway? I mean, these things that people make up are just so beyond stupid. I'm sorry, I just made me upset because I saw some comments on one of my videos today saying, oh, your friend tipped you off or something like that. So obviously her stories are getting legs. She also said it was very suspicious that I didn't post anything for a year on social media. First of all, I never been very active on Instagram, and on YouTube I only posted my interviews with celebrities. And since COVID, these interviews have more or less only become virtual. So I've kind of stepped away from doing these junkets because they don't give me, people don't want to buy these interviews anymore. Basically, the market for these types of interview is really almost gone. Some domestic people do them now and then, and there's something in person, but very rarely. Another reason why I wasn't active for a year was because my boyfriend had cancer and he was going through chemotherapy. He was hospitalized. He had sepsis. He almost died from sepsis. So this summer we took a long vacation in Europe to celebrate that he had done his chemo, and we got back to LA and we're like, okay, maybe we should leave LA. At this point, we weren't that happy here. And so for her, this Julie, to say that I am an entertainment reporter, didn't know the latest gossip on It Ends With Us set, is really weird to her. The reason for that is because I had other things going on in my life. And I got back from my trip to Europe, I think just like 5 days before I was invited to the press screening of It Ends With Us. I did not read about the gossip about Blake Lively at that point because, as I said, I had other things in my life that was much more important to me. Anyways, there's a bunch of other things she said in that video that is a complete lie. She said that I kept asking about Blake Lively's body or baby bump. I'm like, I didn't do that. I congratulated her. She also said that that it was obvious that I should have known at that point. There was a big campaign going on in Hollywood. Ask her more, that you shouldn't ask an actress about wardrobe. I was here the whole time. It was not a big movement, ask her more. It was a couple of actresses who shut down some interviewers when they asked them questions that they found to be superficial on a red carpet. But it wasn't a big movement. And to be honest with you, everything about a red carpet is superficial. The actresses are there to show off what they're wearing and to promote the designer that they're wearing. It's a big business around it. So for people to shut down journalists for doing their job, I don't know. I never even heard about that movement. I remember just Scarlett Johansson said something in a press conference or at a junket to a journalist who asked her about wearing a tight bodysuit if she was wearing underwear under it, which I thought was inappropriate. But this whole movement that this woman is talking about never really made any impression on anyone here. I don't know if she is in Hollywood. I don't think so. I don't think she has any ties to this industry at all. I think she's just sitting and making up stories in her house, wherever she is. Anyways, that's it for me today, you guys. Thanks again for all your amazing comments. And thanks again, you guys, for being so engaged in the little questionnaire thing, or the question I put on my wall here yesterday, asking if you could ask me anything, what would it be? So there's so many questions and they're so good. So I might make a few episodes from it, actually. We'll see. Magnus is looking through all the questions. So he decided that he's going to find the questions for me and he's going to ask them. So stay tuned for that coming up soon. And thanks again, you guys, for all your comments and for all your tips. So many good tips out there. And I use a lot of them in my videos, so please keep them coming. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And hit the notification button so you don't miss an episode of Flaa Talk. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye!